With travel-related searches being saturated, TikTok's seeing a 410% increase in travel-related searches, influencers, social media. What are the red flags that consumers, brands and agencies need to be aware of when engaging with animal activities abroad?
It's very relevant that you should mention social media because, as is always said, it could be an agency for good or for the opposite, and that's just as true here. And indeed, we take the view that the future prospects for survival of many endangered species, absolutely above everything, turns on and is contingent upon the good use of social media. In terms of red flags, there are many that people should become aware of, and some might seem obvious. So look at the activities themselves and look at the animals closely to see if they show signs of distress or injury or listlessness. Never participate in or sell or promote an activity where there is direct contact with wild animals. We must remember that elephants, for example, lions, are not the same as horses and dogs. The latter have been domesticated by man over 10,000 years. Elephants and lions have not. And so when they are brought ruthlessly into captivity for commercial exploitation, they have been horribly abused in one way or another, beaten up, in the case of the big cats, declawed, detoothed. They have Vaseline smeared in their eyes and drugged and all the rest of it so that they can be hoisted across someone's lap for a photo.
Thank you, Duncan, for having this difficult but necessary conversation with the IPM today. Considering this new legislation and the change of a new government, what are the next steps to implementing this new legislation, and what can IPM members do to support this cause right now?
There is now already law. The Animals Low Welfare Activities Abroad Act passed into law on 18th September 2023 when, quite remarkably, King Charles, His Majesty King Charles, immediately granted his royal assent to the passage of the bill into law. That is the final and necessary step to get something from being a proposal, a parliamentary bill, into actually law itself. It's what's called enabling legislation. That means that the responsible government minister, in this case the Environment Secretary, who presently is Steve Reed, must now take steps with reasonable promptitude to implement this law, to bring it into actual effect. What he's got to do is to publish a list of what are called activity regulations. That is essentially a list of all those activities harmful to animals that will be included in the ban that provides the essence of this act. The present government, as the past, have got all that material and they've had it for a while now. And so what is needed is government to act. They have a constitutional obligation to do so because this is now law. It's not an option. It's not something that they can think about and then not do. No. So what can IPM members do to help bring about the, I think you mean the real intentions of the Act, even before government itself takes those necessary steps to implement it? The first thing, of course, is that every company that is involved in animal tourism of any sort should be reviewing and auditing what they are actually advertising. They often don't do it. They don't do any due diligence on what they're advertising. It's very obvious that many companies have never sent anyone to investigate or look at places that they're advertising, both for the sake of the animals but also the safety of their customers. They should start doing that. And if I may say, they will gain a big PR advantage if they are seen to be the ones who start or are additional to those who have already started the ball rolling with the turn towards, if you like, green and environmentally responsible and towards helping these precious creatures and their habitats to be saved from extirpation. The really exciting thing about this act is that these are measures not just for our own shores of the British Isles. These are measures really that can and should, and I believe over time will, be adopted around the world by any country that harbours an unscrupulous market in brutal animal tourism. That includes continental Europe and many of the countries in it, the United States, Australasia, and pretty much any other country. And again, Stay has got huge databases of what's going on by way of marketing in other countries to numerous species that suffer so grievously in the name of profit alone.